Hello, my littles. Welcome to Mammy's Corner, and I'm Mammy. How are you? How you doing? Are you doing good? Oh, I hope you are. It's really good to see you. I know, affirmation time. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, here it goes. I am loved. Very good. Say it louder. I am loved. Very good. Who loves you? God loves you. And who else? Mammy loves you. Don't forget that. All right, ready? Next one. I am good. Are you good? You better be good. Say it again. I am good. Very good. Now the last one. I am kind. You better be kind. Ready? Again. I am kind. Oh, good job, my littles. Good job. Now, Mammy is still in the book of the Disney's Adventure Stories. But let's find out what stories next. But before we do, make sure you get comfortable. Make sure you find a comfortable blanket or a pillow. Just relax and let Mammy do all the reading and you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, will you please give me a thumbs up? Mammy would really appreciate that. That way other littles could watch it too. All right, here we go. The Disney's Adventure Story brings to you today, The Emperor's New Groove, The Return to the Palace. Are we ready? Are you comfortable? All right, let's get reading. Once upon a time, there lived a selfish young emperor named Cuzco. He decided to build himself a massive summer getaway called Cuzcotopia. He'd have to destroy a small pheasant village to make space for it, but he didn't care. He was the emperor after all. Pacha, one of the villagers, was summoned to the palace and told of Emperor Cusco's plans. He was terribly upset. What will I tell the village and my family? He wondered. Sadly, Paca lowered his cart and set for home. When he got there, he noticed a strange sack in his cart. He opened it up and peeked inside. A llama appeared out. Where'd you come from, little guy? Paca said. No touchy, the llama cried. The peasant jumped back. The llama was talking to him. Ah! Paco yelled. Then he realized that the llama's voice sounded familiar. It was the Emperor Cuzco. What? How did that happen, littles? Let's find out. What happened? Paco asked, pointing to the Emperor's new hooves. Cusco looked down and screamed in horror. It can't be, he said in disbelief. He ran to the water trough and looked at his reflection. He had turned into a llama. My face, he cried. My beautiful, beautiful face. He demanded that Paco return to the palace so that his advisor could make a potion that would turn him into a human again. But the peasant refused. He was still upset about the emperor's plan to destroy his village. I can't let you go back unless you change your mind and build your summer house somewhere else, Paca said. I don't make deals with peasants, Cusco retorted. Then I guess I can't take you back, Paca replied. Oh my goodness, littles, what do you think? Who's right? Who's wrong? Let Mammy know who you think it is. The stubborn llama started off toward the jungle. Paca knew it wasn't safe. It's a little dangerous if you don't know the way, he said, but Cusco ignored him. Before long, he accidentally awakened a pack of sleeping jaguars. Ah! He yelled. The jaguars chased Cusco to the edge of a cliff. He had two choices, jump or be eaten. Lucky for him, the kind-hearted Paca had followed Cusco into the dense jungle, knowing the emperor would never survive on his own. Just when it looked like all hope was lost, Paca swung in on a vine and grabbed the emperor. Then, bam! They slammed into a tree and got stuck on a branch with a vine wrapped around them. Isn't that kind of funny? But that was only the beginning of their troubles. Uh-oh, what's happening next? Let's find out. Crack! The branch soon broke under Paca and Cusco's weight. They bounced down the mountain into a rushing river. You call this a rescue? Cusco demanded. I don't see you coming up with any better ideas, Paca retorted. They tumbled and bobbed in the fast-flowing water. Uh-oh, Paca said suddenly. They were coming to a waterfall, and they were still tied together. They sailed over the top of it and went flying into the mist. When they finally landed at the bottom, the vine that had been holding them on the log came apart. Paco and Cusco quickly floated to the surface, but the llama's eyes were closed. He was unconscious. Your Highness, Paca cried as he dragged Cusco to shore. Fortunately, the emperor woke up. That night, Apache tried once more to convince Cuzco not to destroy his village. I think if you really think about it, you decide to build your home on a different hilltop, he said. Why would I do that? Cuzco asked. Deep down, I think you'll realize that you're forcing an entire village out of their homes just for you, Pacha replied. The emperor stared at the peasant. And that's bad? He asked. Unless you change your mind, I'm not taking you back, said Pacha. The next morning, the emperor said that he would not destroy Pacha's village after all. The peasant was delighted. He shook Cuzco's hoof and began to lead him through the jungle. They started across an old bridge. Suddenly, some of the boards collapsed. Oh no! What's going to happen, my littles? Pacha fell through a hole and got tangled in a rope. Help! Pacha shouted, but Cuzco did nothing to save him. I thought you were a changed man, Pacha said. I had to say something to get you to take me back to the city, Cuzco replied. It was all a lie. As the llama walked off, however, the boards beneath him broke. He fell through the bridge and also got tangled in the rope. Look at that. Cuzco and Pacha dangled over the canyon. Pacha was furious that Cuzco had lied to him, and the llama was sick of Pacha. Soon they got into a punching and kicking brawl. Oh no. What's going to happen now, littles? Let's find out. Crack! The bridge suddenly broke in half and the rope snapped. Cuzco and Pacha fell toward the water, but ended up wedged together in a tight crevice. As alligators circled below, Pacha showed Cuzco how they could work together to inch their way up the gorge, back to back. See that? But then as Pacha reached for the dangling rope that would save them, the llama began to slip. Cuzco, cried Pacha. He grabbed the llama by the tail somehow in a frantic scramble. The llama and the peasant reached the top of the cliff. Whew. But in the blink of an eye, the rocky ledge began to crumble beneath their feet. Just in time, Cuzco pulled Pacha onto safer ground. Yay! Pacha stared at the llama in disbelief. You just saved my life, he said. There is some good in you after all. It was a one-time thing, Cuzco replied. Pacha decided to take Cuzco back to the palace, even though he'd been lied to. He'd given the emperor his word. The rest of the journey would take 4 days. I'm still building Cuzcotopia, the emperor said. Well, 4 days is a long time, the peasant replied. On the way, Pacha and Cuzco stopped at a restaurant. Pacha overheard two of the other people who were there. They were the emperor's advisors. They had turned him into a llama by mistake. They'd actually been trying to kill him. When Pacha told Cuzco, the emperor didn't believe him and got very angry. He told Pacha to leave. The peasant began to go home, but Cuzco soon realized Pacha was right. He caught up to Pacha and apologized. That was nice, wasn't it? From that point on, Pacha and Cuzco were a team. They raced the palace, and working together, they tricked the evil advisors and found an antidote to turn Cuzco back into a person. Even better, Cuzco realized that he did have some good in him. He decided to build Cuzcotopia in a different location so that he wouldn't have to destroy Pacha's village. It had been a long trip to the palace, but somewhere along the way, the emperor had found a new groove and changed for the better. The end. Well, my littles, did you like this story? I hope you did. Sometimes it's not nice to be mean. That's why Mammy always tells you to be good and to be kind. And in the end, the llama did get turned back into the emperor. He turned out to be good after all, right? So don't give up on people. Treat them with love and goodness and kindness because God loves you, right? God loves you. Who else loves you? Mammy loves you. But Mammy loves you bestest. Until next time, my littles.